and welcome to the Terraces' first ever cocktail and wine mystery murder party. My name is Bridget Bordeaux, and I do want to let everybody know that this evening, even though some of you may not be able to see me at all times or see some of the players of the play this evening, you will be able to hear us over the mics. Tonight you are going to meet 6 very interesting people. And yes, every one of them are suspects in tonight's murder mystery. But first, let me give you some details of how this most unfortunate event took place. This mystery is set in the wine region of Napa Valley, California. 5 years ago, Barry Underwood owned prestigious Underwood Wine Estates, mysteriously disappearing during the Valley's annual wine festival. A massive search at the time failed to turn up any clues, and the case has been in the FBI's unresolved files since then. Now, 5 years later, it is, once again, the annual wine festival in Napa Valley. Last night, family and friends gathered at the stately Underwood Mansion to celebrate. It was midnight, and a minor earthquake shook the mansion, causing an old wooden floor in the wine cellar to buckle. Barry's well-preserved body was discovered under the cedar planks. Now, here are the 6 suspects. Tiny Bubbles, Barry's fiancée at the time of his death. Perky and pretty, Tiny has an effervescent personality and a razor-sharp mind. She is now married to the new winery owner, Ralph.
Hello, everyone. I am Tiny Bubbles. I am married to Ralph Roddengrape, but I kept my maiden name. I just hate Ralph's last name. Imagine, Tiny Roddengrape. Ralph and I have been married. Ralph and I have managed Underwood Wine Estates since Barry disappeared 5 years ago. Ralph looks after the vineyards and the wine making plant, and I take care of sales and finances. We make a wonderful team. As you know, I was engaged to be married to Barry before he disappeared. I had met him while touring the winery, and it was love at first sight for both of us. It is so sad that he died just when he had everything a man could want: this beautiful land, a successful business, and me. But what you really need to know is, I have been married twice before, but both husbands died from natural causes.
Right.
I set my sights on the Underwood Wine Estates and its owner, Barry Underwood. And for insurance, I had an affair with his only living relative, Ralph. One way or the other, I planned to gain control of the winery. Nobody's better at conning men than I am.
Otto von Schnaps. Otto is a Chichilian. He is a wine merchant. He's boisterous and fun-loving. Otto attends wine festivals around the globe, buying the best vintages for distribution in Europe. It is said Otto's preference for red or white can be influenced by green.
Good evening. My name is Otto von Schnaps, and I'm from Chile. I am a humble wine merchant from Chile, and I travel around the world for my employer, Rhine Wines, shopping the best vintages of red and white wines. Then I purchase large quantities of these wines for distribution throughout Europe. I have been coming to Napa Valley Festival since 1986, and I have many friends in the valley, and I am very impressed with the quality of wine produced in the region. I have purchased wine from the Underwood Wine Estates for the past decade, and it was such a tragedy when Barry Underwood disappeared. But the truth is, my job is a cover for me to mingle with the rich and the famous, and for the theft of the valuable art and treasure. And as of right now, I have people in your rooms getting to our valuables. You are the mastermind behind the international art theft ring. That it would be me. Barry has found out about this and was blackmailing me for a piece of the action.
Marilyn Merlot. Marilyn was crowned wine princess at the festival 5 years ago, then went on to become a Hollywood movie star. She's returned to Napa Valley for the wine festival and to gloat her own success.
Hello, everyone. I am Marilyn Merlot, but I'm certain all of you recognize me. I was nominated for an Academy Award for my supporting role in the movie Fatal Flaw. It was a thriller. I grew up here in the Valley, but it has changed so much since I left, I hardly recognize anyone anymore. I've been in Hollywood for the past 5 years. I left the same year Barry disappeared. As you may recall, I won the Festival Beauty Pageant that year, and part of the award was a cameo appearance in a Hollywood movie. That was my big break. But the truth is, Barry had discovered me posing nude in a centerfold and was using this information against me. My name used to be Daisy Drinkwater. 9 years ago, though, my older sister, Ivana, was killed in a car accident. Barry had been driving, but he got off scot-free. I have never forgotten that.
Ralph Rottengrape. Ralph is Barry's first cousin and heir apparent to the Underwood Wine Estates. Long considered the black sheep of the family, Ralph took over as manager after Barry's disappearance and has been running things his way ever since.
Good evening, everyone. I am Ralph Rottengrape, the manager of the Underwood Wine Estates. Barry Underwood was my first cousin. I guess now that his death is official, I am now the last surviving member of the Underwood family. I will become the legal owner. My wife, the beautiful Tiny, and I have some big expansion plans. My mother was an Underwood, but the family disowned her after her divorce to my father and moved in with one of the field workers. So we moved to Italy, and I grew up there. The only person to keep in touch with me was Papa Vito. He wrote me a letter every once in a while. That is why I came to California 6 years ago. When I arrived, Barry gave me a job working in the fields. But what you really need to know is, the real Ralph Rottengrape was my cellmate in prison, where he was serving time for manslaughter. I was there serving time for a minor crime. Ralph died just before I was released. A great uncle convinced me to take Ralph's identity and move to California to start a new life. I've been posing as Ralph ever since.
Hetty Shapley. Hetty is the owner of the neighboring vineyard and a fierce competitor of the Underwoods. Barry's disappearance has uncorked a new vintage of troubles for unhappy Hetty.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Hetty Shapley. I purchased from Barry Underwood 10 years ago some special piece of land, and I turned it into Shapley Vineyards. It was scrubland at the time, and I bought it to show just how I could make it in the wood. Now it's one of the finest vineyards in the valley. I'm developing a new wine that will take the world by storm. It would already be on the market if I hadn't suffered a series of setbacks. When Bailey was alive, the two of us were very competitive. I missed the challenge that he brought to the wine tasting competitions. But truth be told, my vineyards are a cover for running a money counterfeiting operation. Although I accused Barry of being responsible for a series of mishaps that have halted my wine production, I actually created the setbacks. That's why very little wine is produced in my vineyard. Barry figured it all out, and can you believe it? He tried to blackmail me. Here is proof. It says, "Nice crop, Hetty." Oh wait, hold on. It says, I can read his writing. His writing is awful. Hold on. "Nice crop you're growing, Hetty. What's my silence worth? Barry."
Wow, well, Papa Vito. Papa was brought over from Italy 60 years ago by Barry's grandfather to develop Underwood Wine Estates. Papa Vito has devoted his life to the vineyards. Now he just wants to retire and drink a little vino in the afternoon. Salute!
Salute. Hello. I am Vito Santini. But everyone calls me Papa Vito.
Papa Vito.
I'm 81 years old. I came to America back in 1937 with nothing in my pockets but a few pennies and a root from my father's grapevines at his vineyard in Italy. Mr. Bob Underwood brought me here to help start his new and wonderful vineyard. I left my wife and my baby son behind. They disappeared during the war. That was World War II. But I never remarried. For 60 years, I've been working with the Underwoods, 3 generations. It first started with Mr. Bob Underwood and his wife, Sally. And then his son, Sam, and his wife, Maggie. And then I worked with Barry. When Barry disappeared, I kept working with his cousin, Ralph. Ralph's a good boy. But now, these days, I just want to retire. I want to move back to Italy with my brother, who I haven't seen for 60 years. But the truth is, I resented the fact that the Underwoods, they treated me like just a mere hired hand. They should have given me a small piece of land so that someday I could start my own. But I have the last laugh, because the man posing as Ralph Rottengrape is really my grandson. Although he doesn't yet know this.
I am so relieved that we finally discovered what happened to my poor Barry. Now we can all rest in peace.
Mamma mia. 5 years already it has been since Barry has been gone. And all this time, he was right here in the wine cellar. God rest his soul.
Well, it's a damn nuisance if you ask me. Now the cops are gonna turn this place upside down looking for clues.
Show a little compassion for your dear cousin, Ralph. He cared enough about you to give you a job 6 years ago.
Yeah, right. As a lousy field laborer while he played Lord of the Manor, Cousin Barry didn't do me any favors.
It sounds like you're happy he's gone. There's a great vineyard in the sky, rotten grape. Maybe you were not so surprised this body was found in the wine cellar.
Oh my God, Otto. You're just as much of a suspect as Ralph. You were here for the 2008 Wine Festival the same as any of us.
Yeah, I was here, but I'm no killer. My business would soon go bust if I murdered my best supplier. You, on the other hand, Hetty, were in competition with Barry.
Well, this is all old news. Barry has been dead for 5 years. I doubt anyone is going to confess at this time. This is all just a waste of time.
Don't be so hasty, Marilyn. You've done pretty well for yourself. Ever since Barry's death. Hey, come back here. A Hollywood career, lots of money, the men. Are you certain there's no skeletons lurking in your closet that could ruin all of that?
I guess the price I have to pay for fame is that everybody wants to see me fall. In case you haven't noticed, Hetty, my success happened after Barry's death, and I earned every bit of it.
Relax, everyone, just relax. The truth will call to